All right, what's going on, fam? This is Alex, and this is Poker with Alex. Well, I'm back. It is May 9th, and I'm back at the house. If you're seeing this video and it is during the day, that means one thing: it didn't go well. Cards that you look for set the tone of how your day is going to be. Either you're going to be there for a long time because you play, like I said, we play poker the right way. And if you're playing the right way, it's either going to be a long or it's going to be a short day. If it's a short day, then 9 times out of 10, a lot of hands that you wanted to play fell into your lap, and you made the right decisions, you made the right moves, and the hands got you paid, right? So we're talking about aces, kings, queens, jacks. After that, depending on what position you're in, that is how you decide whether or not what other hands you want to play. But usually the aces, the kings, queens, right, to a certain extent, sets the tone of how you're going to play your game when you're playing 1-2 no limit hold'em. Today wasn't that day. We got there between 9:30, started playing, I think, about 10 o'clock. And out the gate, I just started getting bad cards. I got stuck with the 2. And you ever had that happen to you? That no matter what you do, no matter what you say, okay, let me get up from this seat. I don't think, right, there's a seat available over here. Let me get a seat move, right? So you get a seat move, you move over there. Next thing you know, the 2 is still following you. You're getting the king, you're getting the ace, you're getting the queen, but that deuce is following you. And that deuce is the problem. So basically, that is how my morning start was. And it never really picked up. How you lose money in poker, sometimes I scratch my head to it. Because if I'm not getting any good hands, right? Or better yet, if I am getting playable hands, but I don't hit the board. No matter what you do, it always seems like it goes in the favor of your opponent. Now, this is going to be what we call a downswing. And for 3 days, right, I had a good run for like the last 10 days, maybe. I'm walking out of the poker room with $150 to $200 to $300 extra, no more than $300 on some hand. And that's only because I chose. Once I get to that number, I usually get myself up from the table and I'm satisfied, right? You win a little to lose a lot when you're in a downswing, because no matter what you do, and let me back up a little bit. What is a downswing? Hold on for a second. I'll let you know. I'm going to read it to you. That way you understand it. Because a lot of people play poker, but they don't understand a lot of terminology. So let me give you an idea of what a downswing is. All right, I'm going to read to you what I found when I looked up, and this is off of Reddit. It says, defying a downswing in poker requires a combination of strict bankroll management, emotional control, and a relentless focus on process over the results. Even the best players experience downswings, often caused by bad luck or high variance, and the goal is not to avoid them entirely, but to minimize losses and keep playing. Now, I agree with that, and I kind of disagree, because if you are having a downswing, and let's just say you go 3 days straight of this, that is going to do one or two things. Either you play long and you never got any hands, so you didn't lose any money. And let's say you played for some hours, and because you didn't get any hands, you just said, you know what? I've been sitting here for like 4 hours. I've been conversating with everybody. I've been passing up the time. I've been looking at my phone. I've been getting up, taking a walk. And when I come back, no matter what, I'm still getting these hands that I can't play with. They're not playable. I'm talking about the poker player. Not the player that just sits at the table and just says, you know what, almost any card can win, so I'm just going to call. I'm not talking about that guy, that young lady. I'm talking about the experienced poker player that knows what hands, knows the position of the table, knows how many players, studies the players that they are surrounded by, and understand who they're up against, why they do this, and how not to take this person lightly, because if they do come in, they got something, right? So when you're sitting on that level, then that downswing is recognizable. But a downswing can be costly if you keep going back. And let's say you playing great starting hands, right? Like I told you in the video that I was doing previously, and I loaded it up, and it was about the guy who called my pocket aces with just a 5-9 offsuit, right? And then he called again with another guy that called me with a 10-jack. I think it was either 10-jack or 10-queen offsuit, whatever it was. Both times I had pocket aces, and I made the pot juicy. I put 150, in a low-stake game against one player that called me with the 5-9. He got there, hit the 5-9. We all in. He flopped 5-9, took out my aces. The other guy came in with the 10-jack or 10-queen, whatever it was. It turned into a straight for him, and I actually hit the ace to give me a set of aces. And he still hit the straight. So that side of downswing is what you don't want. If you have a downswing where you just paying your blinds and you're just not catching cards, that's okay. Because you recognize I've been here long enough that I'm not catching anything. No matter what dealer is in the box, I'm still not catching anything that I want, right? And that's if you're a player. If you just like to gamble in poker, then you're not going to me, I don't think you'll understand what a downswing is, because you play so many different variables of cards that nobody ever really knows what you're on. I know people that are called with an 8 deuce, with a raise, will raise with an 8 deuce, because they just there to gamble. When a poker player says let's gamble, that is what he or she really means. They're there to gamble. So I don't think they qualify for what is recognized as a downswing, right? Because a lot of times they're going to lose anyway, because their hands are not really playable. And a lot of time, all it takes is one card, and it'll knock that 8 deuce out the box. You get an 8 with a deuce kicker. Somebody comes in with an 8 with a 10 kicker. Guess what? That 8 with the 10 is going to win every time. So I don't think those guys really qualify the downswing. It says, here is how to defy a downswing in poker. It says mental and emotional control. Embrace the variance. Understand that a downswing is a statistical anomaly or run bad, not necessarily a reflection of your skill. This is true. That's not really a reflection of your skill level. When people know that you are a good enough poker player, right, that they say, damn, you just having a bad day today, no matter what you do, right? If you are the kind of person that comes in and nobody says anything when you lose, they already say they waiting for you. You're the fish. They want you on the table because they know you don't qualify for the definition of a downswing. You just qualify for a player that just does whatever on the poker table, and whether or not you win or lose, nobody ever looks at you that way. I'm sorry, but they don't. We got players that come in there, and when they win, nobody says anything to them. When they lose, nobody says anything to them, right? But if your poker game is respected, they'll say, hey, good session today. I'll holler at you later. Y'all take care. All right, man. See you later. See you tomorrow. Hey, then you get there. They say, man, you had a good day yesterday. They remember that because you're a solid poker player, right? They respect it. But when players come in and they just do whatever, everybody's mad that they're leaving. They want them to stay. Hey, the ATM still got plenty of money in it. Go get it. Come on back. All right. It says, manage tilt. Do not let emotional frustration dictate your play. If necessary, take a break from the game, whether it's a few hours or a few days, to reset mentally. This is true. I've had downswings before where it took a while for me to actually just submit to it and say, man, no matter what you do, you can't win. You've been playing for a week. And no matter if you stay 4 or 5 hours and you leave, where you didn't lose your money, but you still left because of the hours you were there sitting and waiting to catch hands and it never happened, then you're probably on a downswing. And then you got days where you do catch hands, and no matter what, the person that called you got their hand. They got what they wanted. So yeah, you can be on a downswing. You can be in the lead and you can make a bet, and I guarantee Poker players know this. You, when on a downswing, you can do something so great that you cannot make that other player fold. I don't know what it is. It's like something in the air that just says, call him. I got you. Don't worry about it. Just call him. I don't care. You're going to get the card you're looking for, because guess what? He or she is on a downswing. And no matter what they do, they're not walking out of here with no money. So it happens. All right. Again, it says accept, run bad. Accept, run bad. Recognize that you can play 80% plus optimally and still lose for months. This can happen. Be wary of it. Be aware. If you got to take a long break, do not be ashamed to do it. Just go. Get away. Find you something else to do. Always make sure you have something to do with your life other than poker. Like I said, I'm a big fisherman. In my backyard, I got the beach right around the corner from me. So guess what I'll be doing? I'm going to be hitting it. This is May. So right now I'm still waiting on certain fish to come in and arrive because I fish jetties. So I'm still waiting on certain fish to get here. And once they do get here, I'm going to be fishing heavy anyway, right? That's what I usually do during the summertime. When I play poker, I play it, but it's balanced. I like to do my fishing either in the morning or I do it in the evening. But if I decide to go play poker, it's either going to be the same way. Either I'm playing in the morning or I'm going to be playing in the evening after I get done fishing. But if I'm on a downswing, then 9 times out of 10, that's not happening. So they will not see me. I made my mind up today. When that happened, I had a hand at the end where a guy had an ace queen. I hit a straight. He had an ace queen in his hand. Not a bad hand. He's supposed to be in there with it. We had 3 people. So all 3 players were good players. So I knew they had something. I got a 10 on the river, which gave me a straight up to the king. He had the ace queen. It gave him a straight up to the ace because he had the ace queen in his hand. We both had the queen. That is what we needed. Once that 10 hit the board, that gave us the straight because both of us were holding the queen. Only thing was he was holding the ace and I was only holding the queen was my highest and it went up to the king. But because he had the ace, it took him over the top. So that is the type of day that I'm talking about that I was having. It just seemed like everybody got a hand. Everybody had a hand. If I didn't really have a hand, and let's just say I came in with a pair of 3s. This took place today and I got a boat. 3s over 8s. I made it $10, a simple $10. Everybody folded. Everybody folded. What's going on, Layla? Yeah, I'm over watching. We're watching kids' dog. They went out of town, so the dog is over here. What's up, Layla? But anyway, this happens, man. And it says high variance formats like PLO or tournaments. I guess they're talking about run bad and tournaments and stuff like this. I'm talking cash game because that's what I really love playing. It says strategic and practical adjustments, right? Move down stakes. If you find yourself playing tighter, afraid to build big pots, or suffering from fear-based play, move down in stakes immediately to protect your bankroll. Review and study. Analyze your hands to determine if you are actually running poorly or if you are playing poorly. Get feedback on your play from peers to ensure your technical game is still strong. This is something that you should do for therapy. Share your story with another poker player and say, hey, did I make the mistake by doing this? If they know what they're talking about, and I only talk to poker players that know what they're talking about, right? They can understand where I'm coming from. I understand where they're coming from. We don't put each other down. We don't ridicule or anything like that. We say, man, like the word about my game, it got out to a guy that I deal with, young kid. He's going to be one of, man, this guy's so sharp, he can count the call. I mean, he's good. I put it like this. He's good for his age. He's barely 21, 22, something like that. So I told him, I say, man, your game is already ahead of itself. And he plays good. He wins big in PLOs and things like that. And we sit there and talk and chop it up a little bit. And he said, Al, I heard about you the other night. He said, it got around. He said, I heard, and what I heard, man, don't even think about that. There's nothing you could do about that. you did everything right. He already knew because he knows how I play, and he knew it already. He said, you didn't do anything wrong. I heard what happened, and wow, I can't believe it that it happened. But we all know that it does, and that is what took place. So always use other poker players for your therapy. Don't go to somebody that gambles and sits there and tell you, oh, you got to play some hands because if you don't play them, you can't win. Don't listen to them. They will steer you. And I'm telling you, those guys, I see them go to the ATM so much. But in their mind, they think they'll say, you can't be scared to play cards, and things like that. They'll say that. And what do you see? Them getting there from the table and running straight to the ATM to do a rebuy. I rarely have to do them. And when I do them, I do recognize that I think I'm on a downswing, right? I do think I'm on a downswing. It's always there. Right now, I know I am because it's been at least 3 days and I've been running bad. I haven't had a well-balanced day yet. Like I said this morning, I never got above my buy-in. I bought in for 300 and it never went forward. It just went down. I was losing in the small and big blind, and I also was losing in the coming along to see what I can do on the board, right? I never had hands that I can raise or anything like that. I just had hands that were playable, right? And they made it possible for me to come in. So, and hands that I did pass up on, I didn't see anything that made me wish I played that hand. You get what I'm saying? Say like I folded a king queen because 5 players called. I'm already thinking my outs are gone. Board hits, I missed everything, just like I thought I would. This is how bad it was when I'm talking about this. When I had hands, like I said, king queen, that's a playable hand. Everybody else had a hand. That's how bad it was. That's when I'm telling you, when you're on that downswing, dude, it is something serious. And poker players know where I'm coming from. We all get it. And it's like, why can't I ever just have a hand by myself and maybe one other person have a hand? And then we just get it on heads up. Why is 5 people calling? $20, $25 raise, and everybody calls it. You get what I'm saying? That means all your outs are probably gone. It said, tighten up pre-flop. Go back to basics to ensure you are not widening your range too much in the early position and burning money during an already difficult time. When that happens, it almost makes you confused on your game sometimes. You don't know what to do sometimes because you fearing and you're trying not to fear, because if you're fearing, then you're going to make mistakes. But it does mess with you a little bit on what do I do with this? I got pocket aces. For some reason, players are calling and they're cracking my aces. I got ace king. Not one of the best hands I have in a 1-2 no limit. A lot of time when you got ace king, the board comes out, everything goes low for some reason. or you get a queen jack and then you get teased that you need a gut shot to hit your straight. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times that is what happens on the poker table. But it does get into your psyche of what do I do when you see you doing things right and for some reason you're still losing. It said volume, it said bankroll and volume management. Volume is your friend. If you are properly rolled and playing well, keep playing. A downswing is a temporary extended period of losing, and playing more hands is the only way for variance to eventually even out. To me, I get it. But to me, when you're trying to recoup your losses, it almost makes it look like, why? Right? Like right now, I swear to God, I feel like I'll take a break this whole summer and I won't go back until September or August. That is how I really feel. And that is because the way my game has been going for the last 3 days. It almost made me feel that all this energy that I put into having a great game, playing right, doing the right things, getting paid for it, right? Walking out the building with money in my pocket from playing a great game. That's the award. The money is the award, right? That's the award for what you're doing. It's a great feeling. Going home, not having a bad conversation, not crying on nobody's shoulder and saying, listen to me. Listen to me. This is what happened to me today. I don't care what happened to you. Listen to me, right? Because that's what takes place when you go in and you're trying to share your story with other players. You don't want them to talk. You just want them to listen, and it happens. So I've been playing it long enough, man, that I'm used to these situations. But when they do come, if you're used to it, it's not going to bother you. You know what it is. It's just a downswing. It says maintain. Did I do this already? Okay, it says maintain bankroll management. A solid bankroll allows you to weather the storm without the fear of going broke, which keeps you playing to win rather than playing not to lose. Like I said, if you're not being backed by somebody and this is something you're doing and you are your financer when it comes to playing poker, be wary of that. Do not use your money up to the point that if a rainy day happens and here it is, you're losing. And now something takes place at your home, with your vehicle, with a loved one. You got to fly out somewhere or something like that. Always have money set to the side where you can always handle your break glass in case of emergency fund. You get what I'm saying? Don't use your credit cards. Don't go to the bank and say, give me a cash advance, because only thing that's going to do is put you in a hole, because you got to pay that money back and they charge higher percent. You do a cash advance, you will find out quick that you can't just pay that back, right? Because it's going to be hell to pay if you use that. So always be careful of that. Make sure you can back yourself up. It says, what defines a downswing? It's not just losing. A downswing is a period of extended losing for a player who is known to be winning player or playing plus EV, positive expected value, is what it's called. It said average wins. As one user noted, 10, 12, okay, I guess it's a date. It says cry me a river. It is a part of the game that even the biggest winners experience. So focusing on playing better is the best approach, right? So I gave you the definition, and I gave you some examples of hands that I played, and no matter what I did, it just seemed like you have a target on your back. I went on tilt. I bought in for another 80, right? I had 80 in cash in my pocket. I said, I'm not going to the ATM, none of that. I just said, I got this last 80 in my pocket. I'm gonna play this and try to build it back up. I gave the dealer my $80. He gave me 80 something. He gave me my 80 in chips. Dealt the hand, ace king. In my mind, I'm going jackpot. So I said, this is gonna put me back in the game. So I take the ace, I take my ace king, I take that 80, boom, I'm all in. Of course, people got out the way and they folded. One guy thought about it and he said, I'll give you action. Missed everything. The flop, the turn, the river, I missed everything. Didn't even come close. No straight chances, nothing. Everything stayed low. Turned our hand over, he had pocket eights. So my ace king lost to the pocket eights. Downswing. No matter what you do. This happened today. It's been happening for the last 3 days. So a downswing is something that if you don't dig yourself too far in the hole, you can get back out of it and cards will start coming your way. If you are a solid poker player, if you're not a solid poker player, then you are not going to be the definition of a downswing. You're going to be the definition of a person who just takes chances on the game. You got money in your pocket and you call with any and everything. It doesn't matter to you. And those players exist. But to the true player, the true poker player who studies, who thinks things through, right? That really comes with the seriousness of the level and experience that other players recognize and appreciate and respect your grind, right? That would not challenge moves that you make because they don't have the right hand to play you. They know this already. And you know them. You know them as well. So it's all about the respect of the player. But when you are on a downswing, Players will still get out your way that are true players. But the ones that will get you are the ones that call with anything. The 9-5, the 10 jack or 10 queen, whatever it was, right? You get a hand and everybody folds for some reason because it's just in the science of the game for some reason that everybody has the energy read that you're not there. You're not supposed to win today. So we're not calling you. And when we do call you, guess what? We're going to beat you because we see the energy of your game is low. We witnessing this. You're not, your aces are losing. Your kings are losing. You get queens. Oh, you know what? I got queens today. Finally, I got a pair of queens. Out the gate, ace king. It's the board. Can't make this up. That is how bad the run is. So it is a downswing. So again, man, I'll leave you with this. Like I said before, do not jump in this if you think what you see on TV is real. For the most part, it is. But you got to remember, these guys are backed, right? They have financiers. They have people that are taking care of their situations and re-upping them. A lot of them are there. They can handle their own business affairs, right? But a lot of poker players, I'm going to tell you now, it may not be what you consider gambling because you do control the outcome. But let me tell you, once those cards hit your hand and that board comes out, that story is going to tell something different. And regardless of how great you may be as a poker player, if those cards don't want you to have those chips, they're going to do what they're going to do. And it's going to be somebody else that's going to walk away with that stack. And that is what we call the downswing. So again, do not jump in this lane if you are not prepared for the ups and downs of it. I play it because I enjoy it, right? But I am going to take a break because I'm recognizing that I'm not enjoying, that I'm not winning anything, right? And I'm making the right decision. So I got to recognize that something is in the air that's causing me to have a downswing. And it's real. That is real. So with that said, I'm out. Y'all be cool. Stay safe out there and don't lose your shirt in this game. Do not lose your shirt. You don't want to do that. I'm telling you, you don't want to do it. With that said, I'm out. Y'all be cool. Peace.